Hey, hi everyone. How are you guys? Welcome back to another edition of Bybit Mastermind Professional Live Streaming. My name is Cyrus. Today we do have a very interesting topic to talk about. So we're gonna deep dive into the evolution of the NFT landscape. And of course, we're not here to talk about profile pictures. The fact that today we're gonna drill into the structural shift of the NFT landscape. I believe many of us here we've witnessed the booms, the bust, the rise and the falls of all those blue chips projects, and of course the constant evolutions of technologies pushing the boundaries of digital ownership. We want to go beyond the hype cycle. We're gonna dissect some of the strategic moves, from some of the recent projects, and of course the underlying philosophical questions that actually shaping the futures of NFTs. And we're going to go through that one by one. And of course, we do want to hear from you, from our community. So throughout the stream, so feel free to drop your questions, share your insights in the chat using our official Bybit website and Bybit app as well. And of course, with Bybit, we do a lot of giveaways. So there's an ongoing campaign where everyone can get a chance to get a share of 200,000 DOX tokens as of today's prize pool. So all you need to do is just participate in our live chat, raise your questions, interact with us, and then we'll pick 10 winners randomly. And that's how you get a chance to walk away with that prize pool. Not just that, we also have a newcomer exclusive red packet giveaway happening sometimes during the stream. So once you see the red packet button on the screen, simply just click it and you're able to share a 800 USDT reward prize pool. That's actually way more than last time. So good luck, guys. And also, please note that that's only exclusively for newcomers. So if you do not want to miss out that reward, make sure you hit the sign up button. Create your own Bybit account now. Also, don't forget to share the stream with your friends and with your community. Hit the like button. Show your support to us. Let's move on to our panel. I think we do have a very interesting guest of lineup today. Let me first introduce Jack Liu, CEO of co-founder of Magic Eden. Hey Jack, good to have you on the show.
Hey, GM. Thanks for having me.
Hey.
Yeah, excited to chat today.
Yeah. So Jack, of course, like I guess most of the people here know about Magic Eden. Perhaps you can also give a very quick intro of yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Jack, CEO, co-founder of Magic Eden. Our marketplace basically started around 3 years ago, Magic Eden, and today 2024, we've done around $6 billion of NFT sales. We've also got a couple of other product lines outside of NFTs now. So our non-NFT products are about 20-30% of our revenue. So we've got a pretty sizable expansion outside of NFTs. So we've got a wallet that's got around 300,000 monthly active users, and we're the largest Bitcoin DEX right now. So we do about 90% of the volume on Bitcoin for fungible token trading there. So yeah, excited to talk a little bit about NFTs, but also share some of the evolution in our story as well.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot to talk to, in this session. So besides Jax, we also have Dennis Mack, founder of Pudgy Asia. Hey, Dennis, good to have you here.
Hi guys. Hey, thanks for inviting. Yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah. So I know you, Dennis. I actually know you for a long time, and you've been pretty actively involved, in the Pudgy community, especially in Asia. There's a lot happening, within the ecosystem. I think, there will be some, pretty exciting news or updates or insights that you can share with us later on in the sessions. We also have Goldie today, the co-founder of 852 Garden, also known as Azuki Hong Kong. Hey, Goldie.
Yeah, hello, nice to meet you, Cyrus and Jack and Dennis. Thank you for the invitation. So my name is Goldie. I'm co-founder of the 852 Garden. So basically, 852 Garden is the Hong Kong Azuki holders community. we actually also host some of the local events and also cooperate with a lot of like different local community that based on different countries, which is mainly focusing on the Azuki IP. Like we also host, like what I just mentioned, we actually do a quite big event that during the last year for the A Fest that happened in Hong Kong. Yeah, so I'm glad to be here to discuss more like what's going on for the NFT with you guys.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, so last but not least, with our very own Steffi Shi, head of Web3 operations at Bybit. Steffi, hey, how are you?
Hey, hi, sirs. Nice meeting you all. And I'm Steffi from Bybit Web3, head of Web3 operations. So personally, I am a community member of different NFT communities. For example, I'm also part of the PUBG community. So I've been to a couple events, and also an active member of like Buckets, Sloth, and early stage Amber, if everyone still remember. So yeah, I'm quite active at the NFT community. It's great to have the
Right.
opportunity to chat with everyone here.
Yeah. So yeah, I understand that. Like, of course, the NFT, of course, is not the hottest or trending topic, in the crypto or Web3 space these days. Of course, we see that much of the hype surrounding NFTs previously has actually died down. So as part of the NFT communities, I actually want to ask every one of you here. So how do you see and evaluate the current state of NFT? So are NFTs still a thing for you guys? Let's start with Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a fair question. So I think backing up for a second, I think the NFT market in 2024 is for sure a lot softer than the bull market of 21 and 22. That's like goes without saying. But from a Magic Eden perspective, for us, it's actually been our best year ever. So we traded around, like, I think our peak trading volume up to this year to date was around $800 million per month. And we usually measure our share in terms of share revenue. So we have around 70% of the share revenue of the NFT market across all the chains. So like from our take, it's generally the market's pretty soft. We're doing pretty well. And over the long term, we're really bullish that the market will come back and get much bigger. So there's a couple of like takes on where we think the market is happening. Well, number one is I think the market is really clearly cross-chain. Right. There's I think a couple of years ago in the previous bull, it was very obvious that it was like Ether1 was the dominant ecosystem for NFTs. That's where the best creators were. But today that ecosystem is a lot more spread across ETH, the L2s, Bitcoin with ordinals, and then Sol. And really that's kind of the reason why Magic Eden got to where it was, by betting on cross-chain early and basically getting traction across these different ecosystems. That's number one. And then number two, actually, like it's like a spicy take. I don't think it's a bad thing that the market for NFTs is kind of soft, because there was just a lot of speculation, right, last bull market, and now it really feels like there's a lot of underlying building that's going on. So we're excited to work with Pudgies, for example, on the new chain, Abstract Chain, and we've been working with Yuga, and the recent Ape Chain launch was really successful. We got, I think, almost 100,000 traders within a few short weeks. And my interpretation of that is it's kind of similar to ICOs and fungible tokens. Like first wave, 2017, it was a lot of vaporware, but ultimately there were tokens launched with utility and strong teams with visions building behind it. And ultimately we want to see that for NFTs as well, with strong teams building products and moving away a little bit from just the pure speculation of the last cycle. So wanted to share that take.
Right. Yeah. So as you know, every the space I think is experiencing a structural shift, if you will. So Dennis, what's your take on that? So you guys are very involved in the communities. Are they still kind of optimistic, or they actually just don't care no longer?
Yeah, I guess obviously the market has shifted attention from NFT to meme coins, and especially meme coins these days. And but I think you can tell in all the conference, usually the best events or the best things that you can draw people to attend, right? It's all about NFT community. Even though whatever floor price is, you can still find good people, passionate people, strong community builders. They're all there. I mean, no matter what price is. I think it's NFT. To me, NFT community is probably the most the thickest community ever in Web3. And you're proud of being part of Azuki, Apache, and I think that's something that we cannot change, and it's gonna be stay for years. For me, it's more about what kind of things that we do from now for the community. In the past we may all hype, and to floor price going up and all this, right? But I think like during this year, probably we more focus on what we want to do. So some of them they build with the IP, some of them they make some merge, some of them they create a lot, do a lot of events, different things, right? To me, it's all about a group of cool people, passionate people. You come together and explore what you can do. So potentially with chain or some other stuff, right? So that's my take.
How about you, Goldie?
Yeah, I actually very agree with Dennis. Like even like nowadays, I think like a lot of people not really focusing on the NFT. I always that I always make jokes with my friends, especially for the Web2 friends. Like if you use the Instagram, people are always laughing on the like Justin Bieber, how much he lost on the BAYC, and then you keep seeing his PFP in the Instagram story or something like that, right? People keep saying that, oh, NFT is that already. But for me, and even for the community that like I'm in, for the friends that I know who still building around NFT, actually, we all think that like NFTs is really like still the one of the most easier ways that, especially if you want to onboard people to the Web3. So people laugh that like NFT is like, oh, it's a JPEG. Why I need to buy a JPEG? But for me, it's like NFT. Most of the NFT, especially for the PFP project, actually is all about the storytelling. So why people love to buy NFT? Yes, you can say it's just a JPEG, but it's also having the blockchain technology behind, all about the ownership for the IP sharing, and you can use your creative, and also if you like this IP, you build around for the IP, then it's gonna be having a lot of different potential ways to develop the IP with everyone. So it's really a very amazing way to build decentralized project via the NFT. So if you ask me, like my take is that like now NFT price may be down a lot, but like what Dennis mentioned as well, actually it's a good time for all of the NFT who really have a creative team, who really have a product behind, who really have a very strong roadmap to build and prove themselves. Yeah, that's what I take. Yeah.
Right. So I want to ask, Steffi as well. So obviously, like Web3, it's a big business of Bybit, and honestly, like we do a lot of different Web3 stuff, and of course, NFT has been always part of it. So what is like from an operation perspective? What do you see? In terms of NFTs and also like what's the are the users or the communities actually still
from a more personal
have
standpoint, because
any
for the operational
yeah
standpoint,
yeah so probably from both yeah I think her connection is kind of breaking up. But anyways, but I want to go back to Jack, for a little bit because you did mention that a softer NFT market is probably not a bad thing, and the fact that you're seeing a lot of builders actually building something meaningful. So when you take when we take a step back, and when we look back what we did previously, what you think we did wrong, or what actually went wrong causing the decline of the NFT market? Is it too overhype, or because we were too focusing on the financial incentive of NFTs?
Yeah, it's a good question. So it's a very like nuanced take, but I'll I'll go for it. Okay, so I think the first one is it's got something to do with nothing. There's one reason which has nothing to do with the NFT market itself, but it's something that we deeply believe in Magic Eden. And the first one is I think there is a structural thing with NFT, with dApps, NFTs, wallets, and centralized exchanges, where basically it makes it very hard for new users to enter the ecosystem. So what do I mean by that? It means that number one, like NFTs was a purely Web3 and on-chain use case, right? So you have to go onboard into a centralized exchange, go download a wallet, then go to a marketplace like Magic Eden, OpenSea, whatever, and start trading. But that process sits many steps behind for a new user to come into the ecosystem. And then what happened is during this like bear market over the last 2 years, there was very, very few new users coming into the ecosystem. And that process of trying to get new people to come to NFTs was just extraordinarily hard from a pure user experience perspective. And because it was so hard to onboard new users, the market just became very stagnant and it was very flat. And then therefore it's very hard for a market to survive in those conditions. And why do I feel that? It's because in the last bull cycle, for example, Magic Eden, we did partnerships like Shaquille O'Neal, Tomorrowland, like these big, like artists, musicians, these kind of things. And these are big folks with mainstream audiences, but I probably onboarded 0.01% of the users onto actually Magic Eden because they had to go to like Binance, Coinbase. It was like really confusing. Then like go figure out how many all these different wallets. And by the time they came to Magic Eden to get the NFT, it was over, right? It was too late. So because the process was so high friction, the lack of new users made it really hard for the space to grow. So that would be like one side of it. And then the other side of it is then I think, Cyrus, what you mentioned is that, yeah, there was just a lot of hype, but a lack of building underneath the hood for some projects. I mean, there are the best projects I think are rising to the top, and we have some of the amazing leaders here on this call. But that's a core of it, right? Like 99% of those projects didn't have underlying building. It was just hype. It was pretty empty, and they could also not drum up new users and get them to be interested. So I think those two things are like fundamentally part of the reasons why the market could not grow. So then like the last point I'll share is then what was our reaction to this? Number one, that's actually why we ended up building our own wallet and effectively vertically integrating upwards. Because once we expanded to across the different chains and supported creators on different chains that we had the widest range, we realized, yeah, I cannot ask our users to download 3 different wallets to use Magic Eden, like download MetaMask, download Phantom, download Xverse. If that's the case, then we will always be in the situation where the market never grows. We can never onboard new users. We have to offer like a seamless one-stop shop experience for users to come. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is we always focus on simplicity, even though during the bear market, to your point, like there was a lot of heavy focus on heavy financialization, heavy trading. Ultimately, I think what made NFT so popular and what made it really fun, it's simple and it's about community and the vibes are really fun. It's not meant to be a very complicated use case. It's meant to be about partying, culture, shit talking on the internet. That's stuff that like normal people understand, right? People on the street. So we always wanted to keep our experience simple. So that's my take on what happened with the NFT market, like some structural thing on the demand side with users, something about the supply side with projects building, and our response to Magic Eden of like vertically integrating to build our own wallet, make a one-stop shop, and keep the experience simple. Yeah, hope that helps.
Right. So I guess this is a multi-layer questions, and you just mentioned that in the previous cycle, the user friction was still like relatively high, but as we roll out more innovations, new technologies, new infrastructures, hopefully that process we're able to improve. Dennis, are you seeing the same trends? Is that like the onboarding process, is it something really pose a challenge for projects that wants to attract or onboard non Web3 native people?
Yeah, maybe I can share a bit from the as community member or community builder's perspective. So 2 years ago we started building Project Asia, and it started with not really a community. So we started with Telegram channel, all this. So throughout these 2 years, obviously PUBG has been going through a very nice journey. More and more attention in the market. So we see people flooding into PUBG community. A lot of people get a PUBG and all this, right? But like this year, right? I mean, after we get the all-time high, and as the market slow down a little bit, here and there, we realized like, oh, probably that's it. There are no more new people coming in. Existing people, if they buy it, they already bought it, right? And we can tell, but it's good things that the people who want to stay, they still stay here for the vibe, for the culture, and that's very important. But I agree with Jack, like the user experience need to be enhanced in space, because obviously even for us, right, minting, buying this and that is always painful. Always very dangerous as well. Still a lot of people getting compromised. the wallet being compromised and all this, right? Different link and all this. So I guess that's definitely important thing we need to solve before we onboard more and more non-Web3 people.
Right. So Goldie, do you want to add on anything?
Yeah. That's like what's like at the beginning, what Cyrus you just mentioned, like overhype definitely one of the reasons, like if you compare the market now with the past as well, like cause I think it's not only for the Web3 spaces or like not only for this industry. Like every time that when you have some of the new product or like new industry, definitely there's will be a lot of like overhyped project. Like at the end of the day, they maybe like some of the previous project, they waste money that's via NFT, but actually they're empty, right? They have nothing to build, right? So this needs some of the time to prove. That's why people will take the roller coaster like us, right? It's like up and down, pump and dump, something like that, right? So I think it's really makes sense like for the market, like seeing that, like, and also at the beginning, like if you ask a lot of people like why NFT, right? Definitely a lot of people just answer you, oh, because I know that like I can take a lot of profit in there. Like people keep saying that's like an NFT, I buy an NFT very easy to 2x, 3x, or if very easy to cover the cost, then I can sell it, right? So that's like I think also like what Jack and Dennis mentioned, right? How we are going to onboarding for the Web2 users, this is also one of the most important stuff that we need to solve in this space as well, because not everyone really understand how to control your wallet. You need to understand the CFAs, you need to know what is crypto, then but the only reason that you want to join, actually you just love this IP, right? But take one step more earlier, I also think that is it's also a reason that like we don't have time during the bull market, right? It's very busy for everyone, right? For the market as well, the space move so fast, right? We actually didn't have a lot of time to do the education to the people as well, because you imagine that's like during the bull market, right? Every day pump and dump and a lot of price like flying around, right? People ask you, or your Web2 fan ask you, what's this NFT, right? You don't even have time to explain to them already, right? For them, it's just like they see the floor price, they don't understand what's that, but they keep seeing that people talking about it. Well, a lot of money in there or something like that, right? But now it's slowing down. NFT actually need a lot of education to teach people like what's behind the JPEG, like what's about the ownership, like what is this, right? Like how you love a real product in real life. You like a sneaker, you buy a sneaker, right? But in this space, like previous time when we was bull market, everyone just buying the product, maybe just seeing the price. They are not really enjoying the product or really like finding a community for it, but they're just seeing is a price inside, right? So it's like what you just mentioned, right? It's slowing down a lot, like for the NFT market, but it's really the best time for us to how we do the education to the Web2 users and how we are having a better solution to onboarding them. Yeah.
Right. I think yeah, to 100%. Like education, I think it's key in terms of driving mass adoption, and at the same time, how you able to improve that user experience, how you improve that onboarding process. I think is equally important. Sefi, I think for us here at Bybit, especially the Web3 operations, you guys have been trying hard to to improve that onboarding process, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the common common angle that we are all trying to working on, because that's not only just existing in the NFT market, right? That's a common question for how we acquire Web2 users, because the point is probably if they want to transact on various chains, they have to manage various wallets. That's not user friendly. So not even mention NFT. But that's something I just want to show you first because I have this. I bought it from, that's a pudgy. I bought it from Walmart during Denver. But the point is, when I talked to the staff there, I said, I was very excited. I said, I want to buy the pudgy penguin. They were confused because this is only a pudgy toy for them. So I have to show them the image, the picture, and then they know, oh, okay, that's on where, and then I found it. So they don't understand what's the value behind the pudgy toy or what's the vision behind it. So that's why we talk about education. And personally, prior to joining Bybit Web3, I actually personally involved into offline metaverse event hosted in Macau last year and 2 years ago. So we actually try to showcase different NFTs to the general public. So we work with like Azuki China to showcase Azuki's board apps and different, even some digital collectibles with local artists. And we found that it's very difficult for the general public to understand what is NFT, except for it's expensive. That's the only thing they understand, right? So there is a long way to go for the education. The second thing is about how they can buy it, right? If we teach them that you need to set up a Web3 wallet, that very first step gonna hinder every single one. So they will ask how they can do it from a centralized way, even like if, for example, whether a Macau company can sell the NFT to them. So they would rather looking for a centralized way to solve that problem. So I think for us, that's the same vision that across the whole Bybit Web3, that right, we were talking about cross-chain future. So that including both tokens and NFTs, and education is very important, how we can deliver the culture behind the NFT itself to the community and how it practically can create value to the community, right? What they can get except for the expectation, the price appreciation. So that's very important.
Right. Well, you know what? Speaking of tokens, I also like pick up a question from the floor, which I also want to ask our panel about this. So, of course, like Memecoin is now like a major focus in crypto and the broader Web3 space as well. Like, and some people believe that that maybe part of the original functionality of NFTs actually now in meme coins, and or is that true? Or are you guys seeing any synergies between meme coins and NFTs at all? Let's start with Jack.
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a fair one. So maybe a few points. I think number one, meme coins existed like long before NFTs, actually, right? So like even like Doge, the original like meme coin. So I wouldn't say it's like a completely new phenomenon, but of course, meme coins is the hot topic of this cycle. It's like the theme, right, of this cycle. What we actually think is this, which is for NFTs specifically, our concept of it is NFTs is just like an underlying technology. PFP is like a use case that's on top of it. There is something else like music, there is art, there is all these use cases that you can build on top of the technology. There is one what we believe in for NFTs on the NFT side is that over time there will be different use cases that we build on the NFT technology, and we are waiting for those creators and projects to build those, and we are seeing some like really encouraging early shoots of that. One of the examples I'll give is that we've always bet pretty heavily on gaming, and we're going to do some partnerships. And one of the key ones that we can see for this breakout even recently is like off the grid on Avalanche chain, right? So AVAX, where it really onboarded like millions of users. It feels like a really crisp, smooth game, and it has both NFTs and tokens, but NFTs has like a more utility use case. So there's like that's just making this overall point of NFTs being a technology with use cases sitting on top of it. Then to answer the question directly of NFTs and meme coins, I think there was always this aspect of NFTs especially in PFPs, where it's like speculative, right? That was like this core use case that was powering it. And that is very similar to meme coins. And in that sense, there is some, meme coins can also serve some of that user need. And there is other like ways to serve that, even like things like Fantasy Cop and like these kind of games that's out in the crypto market. It's also kind of serving that underlying need itself. what we actually see now is pretty interesting, which is in that like fairly speculative aspect of NFTs, there are some projects that have both NFTs and meme coins, and those ones seem to be the ones that's actually doing super well. So like on Sol, there's this collection called like Retardia, where like the meme coin is doing really well, and then the NFT is called Retardia Cousins, and it's also doing really well. So these are the things where it's making us think that there is something there where it's combining the two. And I think it's to the point of like what Dennis and Goldie was previously mentioning. Like meme coins has this like pure speculative aspect to it. It's like liquid. It's very easy to enter. It's effective about trading. It's very simple. It's very fundamental. And then the PFP aspect of it is actually it's about identity. It's about community. It's kind of about flexing, and people want to join something and identify with something. So we're seeing that trend now in that like more like speculative aspect. And there is some like very interesting technologies that's coming out there as well, where it's like 404s, hybrids, and we're also basically looking for ways where we can support and push this movement forward. That being said, we're also thinking that like NFTs, tokens, there are also obviously utility use cases in other categories beyond just this speculative part, which we're also keeping an eye on. But I think that's the more zoomed in take to your question there, sorry.
Right. Personally, I think one of the reasons why meme coins, I won't say successful, but one of the reasons meme coins will able to become what we know today. I think a big part of it is because it is highly liquid. Whilst on NFTs, if you want to trade or sell NFTs, sometimes it could take days or whatever. So some people just don't like that. And for you, maybe Dennis, if what's your take on that? So any potential synergy with the high liquidity of meme coins, and is that something that maybe we can combine with NFTs in the futures, or any synergies between these two?
Yeah, I think, I mean, it's definitely two different things that are serving different purposes. For
Right.
NFT, it's more about ownership, identity, no matter it's music, art, or PFP, right? But meme coin is more like sharing the culture. One dog or one whatever, JPEG, and everyone's just sharing the culture. I think meme coin is very, very, very. I think it's kind of proof that it's successful. As in, like, it's easier to bring a lot of people on board to one culture, but it really depends on the time as well, because like how long would they stick with it? Are they just moving around to different meme coin? Then it just become another speculation, right? The culture is just for pump and dump and probably potentially rug, right? So I guess obviously I think the best scenario is picking the good thing about two things. Once you have the identity, you have the culture, because you that culture is very legitimate, I would say. All the NFT, PFP culture, NFT community culture, they're all great. They're all, because a lot of people try to protect the culture. Azuki, they cannot afford any bad art. Everything must be very cool, right? Match with the IP. For Pudgy, it's always about happiness. You seldom see any weird thing going with the Pudgy. It's so cute, right? So I think this kind of culture is very positive in the market, I would say, right? Not toxic at all. At the same time, if there is some kind of use case of coin, of token that you can bring more people on board, at least he can spend $100, $50 to get into the culture. When they get more and more into it, then they can, maybe I should get a NFT or Pudgy, or Azuki, so that I can be more be part of the culture. So I guess that, to me, that will be perfect, from my standpoint. Yeah.
How about you, Goldie?
Sorry, could I just
Jack,
jump? Sorry, I just wanted to jump in on one thing. I actually love what Dennis said, this one point about like getting the best of both. And I think that was the core point I was trying to make about seeing this like Mcoin NFT like combination that's happening in the market right now. So to share with you guys, for Magic Eden, we're also launching like Solana token trading like this quarter in a couple of weeks. We're also then going to expand into that into like the EVM chains like Base, L1. So our strategy is called All Chains, All Assets, one app. So basically we'll serve multiple chains. We'll have NFTs, tokens as well. And I think it's basically to this core point, right? Like where it basically started on Bitcoin first, where we had Bitcoin NFTs, which is ordinals, and then Ruins, which is effectively Bitcoin meme coins. And we saw this like synergy between the two, where people were dropping like meme coins on top of like ordinals communities to create a lot of hype, and then vice versa. The whole thing happened back and forth. And of course, we're seeing this similar thing on Sol and Base, like Base with Migos, Sol with Retardio, like meme coin NFT collections. Ultimately, what we want to do is basically provide a platform or chains or assets that allows us to give this one-stop shop convenience to those users to serve both. And we're really hoping that once we have both, it can bring to life some of like what Dennis was saying, which is like you can get into the culture with an easy entry point from memes, and then there is like some other like adjacent thing where you can like represent your identity or represent you're a part of the community as well with this NFT collection. So yeah, that's the way that we're playing this trend, and we're pretty excited. So yeah, very much in support. And sorry to jump in, Goldie.
No, it's okay. Yeah, Goldie, I know you also pretty actively involved like in memes, trading, all this stuff. So what's your take on that?
Yeah, my take on this is that I definitely agree with what Jack and also Dennis mentioned. Like for me, it's like meme coin. What's behind the meme coin is that like what's the similar stuff compared to NFT is definitely for the culturalized developments, right? So meme coin also got their own culturalized, but maybe meme coin is more focusing on. I would say it's more focusing on the entertainment, because you know how will be the meme coin success is that they need to keep getting everyone attention on it, right? When they lose the attention, then the folio will be going down. Then that meme coin may be going to not success way, right? So going to a fail way, right? So I think this is one of the similar thing, but the different thing is like what Dennis mentioned as well. Like even is they're same with like a culturalized community, right? NFT is more like giving you the identity that's inside a community, but rather than meme coin, right? Meme coin also got their community, but everyone actually is the same, right? You buy $1, you are still part of the community. You buy $100, you're also part of the community, right? So even I sell, right? No one will check my wallet, maybe, right? I'm still part of the community, right? So this is the something that's like different with the meme coin and also NFT. So for the things that like Jack and Dennis just mentioned, I actually certainly like something that come to my mind is that like if you guys also heard about for the 404 contract in the Ethereum chain, right? They are trying to combine the ERC 721 with the ERC 20, which I agree there's like NFT actually always facing a problem for the liquidity problem, because you hold the NFT actually if NFT compare with normal tokens, right? We don't really have like a liquidity pool inside, right? So if you want to sell your NFT, you need to wait for like a whole days, like someone to bid your NFT, someone to buy your NFT. But if you're holding a token, you want to sell, then you can just sell it because there is a liquidity pool, right? So that's why we see some of the new developments coming up, like 404, they're trying to mix up the ERC 721 with the ERC 20, which you can own an NFT as well, but you can sell it. It's like a fashionized NFT as well. You don't really sell a whole NFT, where you can sell part of it. And then that means you give a like lowest entries for the new joiner as well. So I think I would see like we will definitely see like more different development like this way, like what Jack just mentioned, right? There should be like more solution about this, and there's definitely a way that we can combine everything together. So people who want to buy identity, who want to enjoy the entertainment meme, should be somewhere that they can combine together. That's why some of the project already starting to do the meme coin and NFT combine together, right? So I think that will be very interesting, that what we'll be seeing in the coming days that in this space. Yeah.
Right. Well, actually, beyond we move on to the next topic, I'd like to remind everybody, all the audience here, there is a campaign that we're doing here right now during the live stream. So we do have a giveaway of 200,000 of Docs tokens prize pool. So all you need to do is just participate in the live chat and raise your questions. We'll pick up 10 winners randomly, and you guys are able to get a chance to get a share of that 200,000 Docs tokens prize pool. And also we have a red packet giveaway campaign during the stream. So all you need to do is just click the red packet button. Yeah, there you go, on the screen. So simply just click it and you're able to get a chance to share a 800 USDT reward pools. And so if you still don't have your Bybit account yet, just create it now. You're also eligible for participating that campaign. So yeah, I mean, like, in the past 30 minutes, we talk about a lot of NFTs topics in the previous cycle. I think we kind of agree that the space has to move beyond PFPs. We need to do something else. And when I actually see a lot of like NFT related project these days. Well, even they're able to survive the downturn, they're able to survive this bear market, and then they move on, moved beyond to just a PFP. And obviously, building a ape chain, an app chain seems to be one of the pivot directions. So you see, anime chains from Azuki, ape chains from BAYC, and then abstract, from Pudgies. That seems like a trend. So I would like to pick on you guys. Like, how would these chains be able to empower NFT projects and actually bring values to the holders and potentially to broader consumer? So let's start with Jack.
Yeah, I had a take, but definitely would love to hear like Dennis and Goldie's take as well from the representing like projects and communities who are doing this. So maybe a couple of pieces of background. So one of the first ones that we supported that's similar to this like NFT creator creating an app chain would be Yuga with Ape Chain. And yeah, we're very pleasantly surprised, but like also really excited. So we got like probably 100,000 users in I think less than 3 weeks since launch, and that's on secondary trading, minting. I think we did like $3 million of trading volume in the first 2-3 days, right? And then at the same time, initially we thought that ecosystem, Ape Chain, would be very much like ape pushed projects, right? It's like basically from this IP of Ape, and since it came from like one NFT creator or like this heritage of one NFT creator, everything will be very narrow. But actually, we're pretty surprised to see this pretty wide spectrum of like creators and app developers coming into the chain. So we've got like I think 20 or 25 mints coming up, and then we can see a lot of new projects, whether it's like memecoin launchpads, dexes, building an ape chain. So overall, like we're really excited to see this traction that was coming up. I think the thesis that we thought was that in the Web2 space, you also see this trend where big holders of IP, they spend a lot of effort building the vision of their IP, and then eventually they want to build an ecosystem around their IP. Right, whether it's like I think Disney will be like one very archetypical like model of that. They spend a lot of effort building the IP, building the lore, building their brand, and then ultimately they build this like ecosystem of things, whether it's like comics, movies, merch, like events like Disneyland, and then that's the way that they truly grow the value and monetize the value from their IP. So we kind of saw that as this trend, but this is like a very Web3 version of doing it. Instead of building like physical things, you build this chain, and the chain then has this ecosystem that's built out. Of course, initially that was just theory, and then we saw this thing play out with Ape Chain, and the initial excitement was very, very real, and we're very much excited to see how things play out with abstract for Pudgies, of course, anime chain for Azuki as well. Like this all seems amazing, and this goes back to my previous point of moving beyond the speculation. Real builders are rising to the top. It's not necessarily a bad thing that the market is soft, because you can then see this like obvious separation, right, where the best builders with vision is actually coming out, and we as a marketplace, we're just excited to support and help wherever we can.
So, like, Dennis, I know Abstract has a very strong focus on consumer crypto or consumer, kind of narrative, and then very naturally it would go back to, again, so Web3, you need to, wallet and then everything. So, with Abstract, are we able to expect any innovations or technologies that probably able to smoothen that process or make that so-called consumer crypto onboarding process more easier?
Yeah. First of all, I'm obviously I'm speaking from a community member's perspective.
Right. Yeah.
From based on my understanding of the abstract chain. So I think right now, obviously the what abstract has been promoting is definitely about enhancing the experience. I think that's the most important. I guess for Pudgy, I think we kind of have proved the capability that we can do this, right? I mean, look at all the toys in Walmart, in different, like even Hong Kong, Malaysia, like even in Asia, we got all these toys around in the toy stores, and all these toys, there is a QR code where you basically onboarding people to Web3. And that's already happening. Obviously, we need more and more happening so that more become a thing, right? And yeah, I think so I think it pretty makes sense that we can extend what we have been doing from just an IP to extend it to more ecosystem. And to me, so I mean, the reason why have been always active in community and believe in community, because somehow at the end of the day, once you have a community, you can build a lot of stuff. So we have, especially for Pudgy, we have so many builders. Look at a lot of big projects. All the CEO founders, they are all Pudgy holders, and some of them, they are diehard Pudgy holders for years. So I mean, what about if you have all these friends, family building together? That's the best scenario. And that's also how, to me, it's also how Web3, how decentralized happen, because this decentralization is, it's about what peer-to-peer, one person, right? But you cannot build one thing on your own. You need to have friends. You need to have some kind of team together, right? So to me, extending Pudgy community to a chain, to an ecosystem where bring a lot of more people on board, sharing the same culture, same vibe, and building something. Maybe related to Pudgy, maybe not, but still, right? It's all about like building something together. Together with Pudgy, like PFP, something like that. I think it's gonna be great for the NFT project. Obviously for Azuki as well. Bringing all the passionate builders about anime together to a chain. That's definitely better than back marketing as well. You can bootstrap all the passionate people together in one chain, and in the same ecosystem, you can do a lot of big things. Rather than one person, you cannot do it.
Yeah, Goldie, is that the same vision you believe that anime chain has? Because like for me, I'm also very very interested on Azuki, as you know. So what's your take?
Yeah, my take is that I think like what's like BYC as well, and also for Pudgy as well, actually it's kind of makes sense for them to building their own chain. Because why I say that is because sometimes people are saying that's like, how come we have too many like layer 2, layer 3 in this space, right? But for me is that I think it's quite makes sense for them to build it, right? Take Azuki as an example, because I'm a Azuki Messi, right? I think what's Azuki focusing is that like how you see the whole anime industry, right? Over billions dollars inside it. And like few days ago, if you are also like one of the friends of Pokemon, a lot of people playing the Pokemon trading card game now, and over 10 million users already download the game just like after a few days of the launch, right? So anime actually really has a lot of potential, right, to build with the Web3 technology, blockchain technology. So I think what Azuki want to do is that like anime chain, they are very confident that in the future that there will be onboarding a lot of the anime fans, because imagine that like you buy the comics, you buy the product that's related to like anime IP, and if they want to go to the Web3, then anime chain would be a very make sense chain for them to doing the transaction in there or something like that, right? And also actually like 2 years ago, Azuki also did the physical band token with PPT, right? It's a bit like what Dan's mentioned in the Punchy Toys as well, like how you can combine the physical asset with the digital assets as well. I think this is the future, definitely for the fashion items, streetwear items, and also for the anime culture as well. So what I see for the anime chain is that they actually trying to build a good space there for all of the anime fans that turn all the things that maybe we have already that's into the Web3 spaces. Now, like, one of the special thing for the anime culture is that like you see a lot of people would love to do the fan art, right? Commission art. Like this is something that's very interesting, especially for the anime IP. People love the anime, then they will keep drawing it. Then in that base, you find out that actually there's a lot of talented artists coming out as well. So anime chain should be the best way for them to promote their stuff, maybe, or to let their stuff like more transparency and explore the marketing as well. So that's why I feel very confident for the anime chain, and I would love to see, because I think compared for the app trick and also the app chain, anime chain may be still in the early stage, right? We haven't really seen a very detailed roadmap from Segabond, but of course they are doing a lot of AMA to explain it. Definitely, I think they will release very soon. That's like for what will be the exactly product or platform they're building in the anime chain. Yeah, I think we are all looking forward for it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is like it's a very good narrative. So like all these IP owners, they want to monetize their IPs by ultimately building their own ecosystem. And right now we are in in a more like Web3 way of doing it instead of doing it physically. So I want to ask Steffi. So as we move forward, we may expect to see more and more of these kind of app specific ecosystem coming out. So as for you guys at Bybit, how do you see, or how do you able to work with all these communities so that we're able to maximize the benefit for the Bybit user?
Right. I think that's first of all, it's good, right? But every IP wants to build their own chain, their ecosystem. But there is one thing, for example, for us, right, Bybit Web3 Wallet, we are a gateway. So we are a gateway to access to the broader community. So we can actually empower them, right? We consider ourselves as a tool set. So we can aggregate cross-chain functions and help them to manage their cross-chain NFT assets or on-chain assets. So that's our position. So for us, it's good that so we can actually aggregate all the chains. For example, we are also talking to many different new chains that they have upcoming launch going on. So for us, it's easier for us because we stand with users, right? So what we care about is how they can gain easier access to like Abster chain, the enemy chain, right? So we are serving as a gateway. So for us, it's a good thing. So we just keep our product updating. So keep it up to date. So then, for example, that we just launched our TG mini game, right? That's also we broaden the different assets to acquire to more users, except for the app users. So that's also a strategy-wide selection. But for us, we are not we can work with everyone. So that's the beauty about Web3 ecosystem. So we are happy to work with different chains regarding how we can launch some campaign together and acquire user and educate user. That's very important point.
Right. So when you talk about like moving beyond PFPs, obviously building a app chain, it's probably one directions. I also want to touch on a point that we kind of talked about it previously, which is gaming. I think previously, gaming and NFTs, I think they make kind of big promises to the community, and but right now, I think gaming. I won't say I'll probably say it's slowing down a little bit. While NFT in gaming, I think it seems like nobody really talks about it these days. So, I just want to quickly ask Jack about like what's your take on gaming, and NFT's roles in gaming, especially in Web3.
Yeah, so it's a good question. So I think that in some sense uh so there's like some really interesting things happening under the hood, but I think definitely acknowledge the point that the chatter for gaming is a bit less than before. But my overall take is actually pretty similar for PFPs, which is that's not necessarily a bad thing. I think that's actually kind of a good thing, right? Because there was this previous hype cycle. It takes a lot of effort to build games, and now like actually people are taking some time to build this. So here's like I think like our vantage point of the history of like Web3 gaming, where previous cycle there was this big promise of NFTs become this hot thing. There's this like grand story of how it works with gaming because it's like a form of new digital asset, and digital assets within the Web2 gaming industry is already massive. People raised some money, then there was bull market, and it kind of like a clearing out of the chaff. From a pure gaming development perspective, it does take a good amount of time for them to actually develop those kind of products, right? So for gaming, it's a very different software development cycle to other types of like consumer software. It's not super iterative, like you launch fast and you get some versions out there. There has to be a pretty high bar for what is the minimum version that's available. However, of the games that we've partnered with, whether it's like Azure Games, Yuga Labs for like Dookie Dash, and we're also working with looking to work with Off the Grid for on Avalanche. We can see that the best gaming creators have taken the last 2 years to really work on their games, really hone the experience, and I actually see some really promising signs. And I think one of the most obvious ones in recent times will be Off the Grid for Avalanche. It really does feel like the promised land of, hey, this game doesn't feel like a crypto game. It's just a really good game, and it has some really unique elements of crypto and Web3 underneath the hood. And it is delivering on this value proposition of onboarding net new users who don't even realize it's crypto into the game itself. So all of that is to say, like for us, let's take the long-term view, right? This takes a while to build the best games. The lack of hype actually I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. It's actually a good thing because it allows the best gaming developers to have quietness and peace to develop those games. And with some new recent things like Off the Grid, even Dookie Dash, we're pretty excited that some of the best creators and best builders are actually delivering on the vision that they had set out going forward. I think we just need a few really successful case studies for them people to say, okay, this is the way it works. Now more creators and more founders will be able to follow in those footsteps.
Right. So that actually, put us in the last part of the discussions, the futures of NFTs. So, since the 10K PFP's playbook no longer works, so what advice you guys would like to give to existing NFT project owners? So maybe let's start with Jack first.
Yeah, it's put me on the spot there. So okay, so and you're saying the advice for creators, right? Or are you like NFT project creators?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess what I'll say is this, which is number one, ultimately like focusing on the long term and building something with your own vision that's authentic to you. That's really important. It doesn't have to be a game. It doesn't have to be a chain. It can be like whatever you actually want it to be. But focusing on long term and focusing on authenticity, that's important, because authenticity is the thing that resonates with your community and your user base. And focusing on long term, it means that, well, in crypto, prices going up and down, meta's changing. That's just part and parcel of the industry that we're in, right? Like we just have to accept that if we want to play this industry, we have to just accept these kind of volatility moves. And what I would then, but the story that we see, like from the talk that we had today, is that ultimately it's folks who have their own vision and pursue it over a long period of time. They are the ones that rise to the top, and then they accrue the attention, they accrue the community, and ultimately I think they accrue kind of the value as well. So those are the two pieces I would share. Sometimes in crypto, like we get this shiny object syndrome. It's like, oh, this thing is really hot. Let me like change my vision to chase this thing. I've seen that like rarely work. Today it could be meme coins. Next year it could be something else. It could be like AI. The year after that it could be something else. You cannot build something that's really good if you just like take these S bends and pivot all the time. What is really true is like be authentic to yourself, express that, and then think long term, right? And bet on that. So yeah, that's probably my thought there.
Right. So before we move on to Dennis, I just want to remind our audience that we still have the red packet giveaway in the stream. So once you see the red packet button appears on the screen, simply you can just click it and you're able to get a chance to share a 800 USDT reward prize pool. There you go. The red packet appears again. So take your time, just hit that red packet. So that Dennis, back to you. So from a community perspective, what advice or what actually you want to tell create NFT creators, like moving forward, what they should do, what they should not do. What's your take?
Yeah, I think my take is a bit more conservative side. So I guess, speculation is no longer really a thing in NFT right now, especially the market is definitely not as bullish as before. So my take is more about, focusing on building, what you believe in, and also, try to attract builders instead of speculator. So it means that put more resources, put more effort to really build connection between the people and build a strong community. Honestly, based on my experience in community buildings, like if you have 10 community builders, like very active like buildings, it's much more impact than 100 like members who are not really actively building. That 10 people, they can easily attract another 10 to 50 people. Especially if they are all very dedicated to the project. So I think that's more my take to really build something solid. And that's everlasting. The friendship that we have made, I'm sure Goldie has the same. Like the friendship that you have made throughout the last 1-2 years with all the builders, that relationship will never like go away.
Yeah, is that true, Goldie? Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true. For me, it's like this is a very good question because I think, to be honest, like I think a lot of people who launched NFT before, if you ask them why you launched a 10K collection, maybe they cannot answer you because it's like a standard before, right? Every NFT you see is like 10K collection, right? So who is telling you why this number? No one's, right? So I think it's more like it's not advice, but like I think it's, if you want to launch an NFT project, right, or you want to launch something that's related to NFT because of your roadmap or your development, I think you need to ask yourself first, like, why is the numbers of this supply, right? You need to need the reason or the objective, right? You see nowadays there's a lot of projects, they may want to do something that's maybe like what Dana say, right? You are not really confident to take care of lots of holders, but you want to starting to have your own community members to having like a token gates community, right? Then they start to sell like a Genesis collection with like 100 supply. Then they keep developing, prove themselves. Then they can go for a second collection with a bigger supply, something like that, right? So I think it's always need to like ask yourself first, like, and also you need to explain to everyone that's like, why are you going to this supply, right? So if you have the enough reason, right? Like for example, like I actually have a very enough reason. I think I need to sell a 10K collection because I have a very big community already, and a lot of community members actually they're very loyal. So I need for NFT, I need the technology to have things like a benefit or like some of the utility for them to reward them. Then it makes sense, right? So I think the most important is still like how you think about it, like what's the reason behind when you design the supply of a NFT collection. Yeah.
All right. So from the operation perspective, Steffi, what's your advice to existing NFT projects?
I think I totally agree with Jack, Goldie, and Dennis. So I think just three things. First one is focus, right? Everyone talk about it. The second thing is be practical. Like games is not the only option for a community, and game takes much more efforts and very costly. So think about it. What's the practical step, right? So you can dream big, you can have a big vision, but practically you have to like realize it step by step. So that's very important. What you can deliver in half year and 1 year, because at the end of the day, even though it's a community, you still have a budget constraint, right? You still work like a entrepreneur. So think about it, be practical. The third thing is respect and listen to the community. I think that's very important. I've seen a lot of PFP projects. They probably have a good IP at the very beginning, but the point is because they just want to make an extra revenue in Web3 instead of actually building something. So they end up selling to their original community, but they are not really creating any extra benefit for their communities. And even for creators, they need to think about how they can help them to make a living, right? By creating within the ecosystem. So listen to the community and share the resources with the community. Think about them. I think that's very important because that's the foundation of a lot of NFT projects.
Right. That's a very good advice. But I guess we can talk about that all day. But we are actually about to wrap up the conversation. I think based on the discussions that we have today, I think despite we're probably in a at the bottom of the cycle of this of NFT right now. But I guess we're still pretty early, and given all the exciting developments in the space, I think there will be much more to expect, coming up in the future within the NFT space. So thank you again for our panelists. Thank you, Jack. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, Goldie. Thank you, Steffi, for sharing your insights, and also thank you everyone who joined this live streaming. So if you want to follow us for more of the insights, you can always go to Bybit and Bybit Learn, and this live streaming will be available for replay shortly after this live. So make sure you check out our website for more different podcasts and live streaming. So thank you everyone, and I will see you next time.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.